Hey everybody, how are you? Good to be back. What's going on? Questions about Cambodia by James McKinnon. What's up, James? Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to all my fans, by the way. Shout out to all my trolls, all my haters. I love you guys. I love you all. Got an email with about 5 different questions, and I'm just gonna go through the questions and just read them off, and you guys can take from it what you will. He says, "Great videos, to the point and honest. Thank you." Appreciate that, James. Awesome, man. So question number one: do jobs dislike teachers having to do visa border runs? All right, let's quickly talk about visas in Cambodia. You can get a visa on arrival at the airport. Like, you can fly into Phnom Penh, get your visa at the airport from 1 month to a year. Now you can also do okay, like, once you get to the airport, you have to get a visa. You just have to, but you can do it for a month if you want. And then if you want to extend it, you can go to any kind of travel agent or tour guide building, and there's so many of them in Phnom Penh. You can also go to pretty much any guest house or hotel also has visa services. So getting your visa extended or renewed or whatever it is not by any means difficult to do in Cambodia. It's very simple. In fact, probably from what I've researched and experienced, the easiest visa policy on the planet, probably like top five, like easiest visas. As far as doing visa border runs, you don't need to go to the border to get you don't need to do that. You don't. If you want to extend your visa, at least if you're an American, you just get it extended in Cambodia. It's super simple to do. Now, let's talk about this now. What about re-entry visas? If you get a Cambodian visa for 6 months or more, like a year, like 6 months to a year, then you can leave the country up to 3 times, I believe, 3 times, come back to Cambodia without having to renew your visa. But if it's from 1 month to 6 months, if you leave the country, for example, if I'm in Cambodia, I've got a 3 month visa and I go to Thailand and I want to come back to Cambodia, I have to get a new Cambodian visa once I get back to Cambodia or before I get back. Does that make sense? So, as far as teachers having to do visa border runs, I never heard of them having to do that in Cambodia, because you can just renew it in Cambodia. So I don't even know what that's about, unless something's changed. I mean, number two, do employers require a work visa? A lot of them say that they do, but they don't. I work for 2 schools, Royal Intercon and Belty International School, and none of them required a work visa. They never asked me for a TEFL. They never asked me for anything. I showed up with my fucking resume. I looked the part, whatever. Haha, I'm white. I can teach. I'm a native speaker, and then I got the fucking job. So, however, I did have friends at the time in Cambodia who were teachers as well, and they did need a work visa. In the school, it's their responsibility to pay for it. So if your school requires a work visa, don't worry. They're supposed to pay for it unless shit's changed. I mean, I left just a few months ago. I wouldn't imagine that much has changed, but if a job needs you to have a work visa, they usually just pay for it, and they pay for the year, but they'll take it out of your paycheck. So that's like don't worry about visas, don't worry about work visa. It's like it's all good. Number three, Asian American girls really like blue-eyed white guys, like us. In my experience, have you noticed Southeast Asian girls do the same? Yeah, I mean. Now, I haven't really had, to be honest, like being here in America, I haven't really had any experience with Asian women in America. I haven't, like, sexually or even like socially at all. I just haven't. The only time I've really been around a lot of Asian people was in Cambodia, in my time in Thailand too. But yeah, they definitely like white guys. I mean, they just like something exotic, I guess. I mean. But I guess they don't really go so much for black guys, even though sometimes they do. Not that I give a fuck, but like typically if you're a white guy and you go to Southeast Asia like Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, all that, and you're like somewhat handsome, like you're a somewhat like, you know, somewhat tall, like somewhat handsome guy, then yeah, like they're gonna flock to you. They just will. Will they do it here in America as well? I don't know. I don't really know any Asian American girls, whatever you want to call them. But real Asian women that are actually from Asia, yeah, they definitely go for white guys. So you'll probably be good. But understand that sadly, and I hate to be so negative and pessimistic, but I'm just being real. Like don't think that you're amazing because the Asian women there like you. Like they typically are with you because they see dollar signs and they see social status, and they get hopeful that you can take them away from their life in Cambodia. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but typically it is. It's simply true. So understand that I get I guess we all get used, right? Like we all kind of get used, but yeah, if you're a white dude over there and you're fucking all these Asian girls, like for sure get over yourself. Um, I guess just get over yourself regardless of who you are and what you're doing with your life. Number four, is there a negative stigma about tattoos? He says, I have a tattoo on my right hand. Well, if you're Cambodian and you have tattoos, then you're going to be seen as like a gangster. But if you're a foreigner and you have tattoos, they just see it as, oh, well, he's a foreigner. Like that's just what they do. So, not really. Like there's only a stigma with tattoos if you're Khmer. If you're me, like if I go over there, which I had tattoos when I lived there, nobody really thought anything of it. They just think, oh, he's a foreigner, he's a whatever, you know. But yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. As far as a tattoo being on your hand, I don't know what the tattoo is. If you walk around and you have like tattoos of dragons on you, I know that they see that as it's like a gang symbol. Like a lot of Asian gangsters have dragon tattoos on them. But if you're a white guy and you have dragon tattoos, I don't know if they'll take you as seriously just because, you know, just like when I used to live in exclusively black neighborhoods with tons of gang presence. There were a lot of there was gang activity there. I was a white guy. One of the reasons they didn't mess with me is because I was white. I think. I mean, if I was a black dude and I had tattoos living there, then I'd have been more likely to get fucked with. But because my tattoos are not gang related and I'm clearly not in a black gang, obviously, I didn't get messed with. Just like if you're in Cambodia and you're a Cambodian with tattoos, they might see you as a threat. But if you're me with tattoos, I think I've made my point. I digress. Number five, how can I avoid sketchy schools and employers? You cannot. In Cambodia, and I'm saying in Cambodia because I lived there for 2 years and I kind of know the deal, they're everywhere sketchy, dude. Everywhere sketchy. Even the places that seem legit and like corporate or whatever, you know, well governed, you know, dude, Cambodia, money talks, corruption is just everywhere. It's they have a very vibrant corruption there. We'll just say that's very vibrant. Um, if you apply to a job and the guy looks at you and he goes, here at Royal Intercon School, everybody family. We are family here at Royal Intercon School. We are family. If anybody looks at you and you don't even know this motherfucker and he says you're family and you don't even know him, man, how fake is that bullshit? Dude, that dude who said that I was like family to him, he fired me in the next like month and a half because they wanted to. My probation wasn't even up yet and they still fired me. Yeah, so I wouldn't have an overly trusting attitude towards any people, period, no matter where you go. But especially if you go to a place like Cambodia, a third world corrupt country like Cambodia. I'm not saying don't live there, but I'm saying it is a third world country. It is for sure corrupt as fuck. Saying that you want to avoid sketchy anything, throw that out the window. Everything's fucking sketchy there. Ordering food is sketchy. In Cambodia, like you don't really know what the fuck they're gonna do, man. They're some sketchy, fucking sneaky people. A lot of them are, and a lot of them are not to be trusted, sadly. So, as far as going to Cambodia and working, yeah, it can totally be done. You are gonna have to deal with sketchy schools and employers. You're gonna have to deal with negotiating your salary. If you're a guy who looks kind of like me, you know, you're probably gonna not have a hard time getting laid there. Even though when I was there, I didn't have sex hardly ever. Like, it's kind of funny how people like to make it out like I was just there having sex and doing drugs all the time. Like, I probably only had sex maybe 50 times for my 2 years in Cambodia. Like, if that. Like, you know, so whatever, dude. Anyways, guys, check me out. You can like my page on Facebook, facebook.com/NoJokeHoward. Check me out on Instagram at Brayton Howard. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys. I hope I answered some of your questions, James. Keep them coming. If you guys want to shoot me an email at nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches, that's nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches, you guys can all go fuck yourselves. Peace.